When I was 4, I used to live in Canyon Country, and this house was haunted. Let me tell you, I have so many ghost stories from this house, and it literally left me so traumatized. One night, I'm on the couch with my brother and my sister. We're watching MTV. My parents used to work really late, so we used to have a nanny. Our nanny used to smoke cigarettes, so she used to go on like cig breaks outside. So she was on one of her cig breaks. I'm watching TV, and from the corner of my eye, I see someone go in the laundry room. And in my head, I was like, but didn't she just go outside? So I get up to go to the laundry room. I get to the laundry room, and there's just a basket of clothes just thrown on the floor. And in my head, I was like, did I just imagine her go into the laundry room? I went back to my siblings and I was like, let me just go back and watch some more MTV. Fast forward to about 2:30 in the morning. The nanny tells us she's gonna go to sleep. And keep in mind, her room is on the bottom floor. Literally, the only reason we were still awake is because we like to wait for our parents to come home. I need to go to the restroom. As I'm heading to the restroom, I see the nanny go upstairs. But in my head, I was like, why would she go upstairs if her room is downstairs? So maybe she wants to go upstairs to play. I get upstairs to my room, and you want to know what I find? I find my dolls neatly arranged around my bed. After that one, I was like, yep, I'm good, ma'am. I don't want to play anymore with you. So I booked it downstairs. I knew for a fact that my siblings were not going to believe me, so I just went back downstairs and I never told a soul. And that's the story how I saw a ghost for the first time.
And truly are disgusting. I just had the most uncomfortable encounter ever at the grocery store. Okay, so I was being an adult, right? I'm going to the grocery store, getting my groceries, and then there was this, like, old man. We were in the same aisle. He was in front of the eggs, and, like, I had to get eggs. So I was like, oh, can you, like, move over a little bit? I just want to grab that. He goes, oh, yeah, sure, honey, go right ahead. You know, I didn't think anything of it. And then he's in front of the butter, so I had to get butter, too. And I was like, oh, like, me again, sorry. Can you, like, move over so I can grab that? And then he was like, you are very, very beautiful, tall and skinny, amazing body. The beautiful and tall, whatever, I can get with that, but like, amazing body. This man was probably in his 80s. And then he's like staring at me up and down when he said like, oh, like you have such like an amazing body. And then I laugh awkwardly and I walk away, so I go to a different aisle. I had to get cream cheese, but I was like, I'm just gonna wait till this weirdo freaking leaves. So then I go into the chip aisle, right? I need to get my favorite cheddar and sour cream baked potato chips. And there he is. He was like, oh, are you following me? And I was like, no, are you? I didn't say that. Hold on, that's not even the worst part. Then he proceeds to tell me, oh, I don't see a ring on your finger. Like, how does a girl like you not have a husband? And I'm like, sir, I'm 16. And I'm feeling like really uncomfortable, obviously, especially because like I was alone. And then he was like, you look just like my granddaughter. What? Like, what? The fact that there are people out there that have family members like that, like, that's so scary. So yeah, I didn't even get my favorite chips. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna, like, come back here with my boyfriend. There's men walking around normal places with, like, young girls around, girls even younger than me, and, like, they're having those thoughts. They're not all, like, ballsy Bill over there. Like, they're not gonna say anything, but, like, the fact that they're thinking about it. Message received. Every time I go out in public, especially to the grocery store, I'll be sure to wear a poncho. But yeah, that was my experience. Thanks for listening. Bye, love you.
I've heard so many girls on here talking about their awkward middle school experiences, so I thought I'd share one of mine. So this happened in 8th grade, and you need to know that I went to a very small private school, and there was only 4 other girls in my whole grade. One of them was my best friend at the time, and the other 3 I didn't care for as much at the time. But I was kind of forced to be friends with them because otherwise I wouldn't have any friends. So there were these 2 boys, let's call them John and James. Basically all of the girls in the grade had a crush on one of these 2 boys. But not me. Nope. I decided I was going to be special, and I liked this other kid. I guess we'll call him Noah. Also for reference, I thought I was literally gorgeous in 8th grade. Like, I thought I was that girl. I was not. But basically, I did not know what I was doing with this guy. Like, I took flirting advice from the movie Clueless. Like, I would do, like, the little pencil brush off the table thing, which worked, by the way. Like, he picked it up, but it was so, I literally can't. I don't remember exactly how this went down, but I think I was at a sleepover, and you know how sleepover middle school truth or dare goes? I was dared to FaceTime Noah and tell him that I liked him, so me being me, I did just that. So I FaceTime him, and of course he's also having a sleepover with like half the guys in my grade, which by the way is only like 10 people. It was like a really small grade. But basically I just spit it out and I'm like, I know I like you. On the other end of the phone, you can hear him and like all the guys screaming, and they're literally just like yelling. And so he hangs up, and of course I'm like, oh my god, that must mean he likes me. Yeah, so he calls back. He's like, yeah, sorry, don't like you, don't feel the same way. We can still be friends though. Maybe a few months go by after that. He tells my best friend that he likes her. Or we find out in some way that he likes her. I honestly don't remember how. But she didn't like him back because my taste in boys was like, it still is, like really bad. But that's my little story. Bye, guys.
Story time about how the ex-husband of the mom of the kids I was babysitting tried to show up and get in the house. So I got to the house and there was an 8-year-old boy and a 5-year-old boy. And the mom was like going through the rules saying that the 5-year-old would go to bed earlier, and then if the 8-year-old was good, that he could stay up with me for a little bit. She said she would be home no later than 10:30 and that she would order pizza for us so we could eat, and that if I had any questions that I could call her. She said that she was going to this like really important business meeting and that she'd be back as soon as she could, but that if I needed her I could call her workplace. She also told me to not answer the door for anybody, and that if her ex-husband, she literally warned me, just said that if her ex-husband came, just not to answer the door and just to ignore him and pretend you can't hear him. I asked her and I was like, has this been a problem before with him just coming to the house? She said yes, but that it had been months since he had come. So she leaves, a few hours go by, we ate dinner, and it's time for me to put the 5-year-old to bed. So it had been like 30 minutes since I put the 5-year-old to bed, and me and the 8-year-old were just playing. All of a sudden, somebody pulls up in the driveway and headlights shine straight through our windows. I was freaking out, and I took the 8-year-old and I grabbed him in my arms and I went and hid over by the couch. So I'm freaking out, and then he starts turning on and off his headlights, like through the windows. Then the headlights turn off, and they're off for a while, and then I hear this loud banging noise coming from the window by the dining room. A few hours go by, and he's probably banged on every single one of the windows in our house, including each door, except for the back door. The back door was like a sliding glass door that was like kind of foggy, but also it was clear, like it was a door. Oh, and I forgot to mention, every time that he would knock, let's call her Savannah, he'd be like, Savannah, I know you're in there, like, give me the kids, they're mine too. Like, a ton of really weird stuff was going on. So anyways, he turns on the headlights, and I'm hoping that that means that he's leaving. Nope, he just drives as close as he can to the house so that the lights will, like, shine through the whole entire freaking house. Then he comes around to the back door and starts, like, screaming. Like, this is, like, the biggest scream he's done yet. And to the right of where the screen door was, there was a windowsill that was kind of like in the wall. So I was able to hide underneath it where he couldn't see me. The 8-year-old had fallen asleep in my arms, and I was holding him like really tight, trying to keep him from like bulging out of where I could hide. He yells, I know you're in there, blah, blah, blah. I was trying to be like as frozen still as possible. And all of a sudden he goes, I know you're in there, I can see your feet. I realized that the kid that I was holding in my arms that had fallen asleep's feet were poking out the edge. So I really quickly grabbed his feet and pulled them in. I looked at the clock and realized that the time was 1 a.m. and that the mom was 3 hours late. Well, like 2.5, but. So at that point in my head, I was thinking, like, did she just leave us here? Like, did she leave me to take care of her kids? I'm only 14. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention I was 14. So anyways, another 20 minutes goes by, and I realize that another car has pulled into the driveway. I hear 2 people start to argue outside and realize that the mom came home. Finally, I go and I call my mom, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So the mom comes back, and she is definitely not in work attire. I walk outside to get in the car for her to take me home, and the husband, ex-husband, baby daddy, whatever you want to call him, starts apologizing profusely, saying like, I didn't know that she hired a babysitter, I thought it was her. Anyways, I get home and I never tell my mom. I was afraid she'd never let me babysit again, so I just never told her. I never babysat for them again or heard from them again. So yeah,